Welcome to Conversations with Verdel Jones. We are about empowering your passion with purpose, turning your passion into action, living with intention, and making an impact. I'm your host, Verdel Jones, and I'm thrilled that you have joined us. This is a show where we bring inspiring stories, practical advice, and actionable insights to help you turn your passion into reality. Whether you're looking to spark a new idea, find clarity in your own path, or learn life-changing success stories, you're in the right place. So let's get started. I am excited to have Zavier JC, who is a creator and founder, or the creator and founder of Good News Good Brew. He is a singer, a songwriter, a creative, worship leader, and a barista. So I'm excited to learn more about that. So what is the mission of Good News Good Brew?
Well, the mission of Good News Good Brew.
And thank you so much for being here. I forgot to say, I'm excited and I want to thank you for being here. So what's the mission of Good News Good Brew?
The mission of Good News Good Brew is to literally bring the coffee shop experience to any type of event, whether it's corporate, schools, ministries, office parties, weddings, gatherings, and productions, branding, activations. The goal is to bring the coffee shop experience, introducing them to specialty coffee, as well as paired with the good news, really inspiring them and encouraging the people that come.
So I just want to let everybody know that I did actually taste some of Zavier's coffee, Good News Good Brew coffee at an event, and it was delicious. So thank you. And what happened was when we were there, you kind of explained to me what it was about. So I really am excited to share that story with everyone. Where did the passion for coffee actually come?
Oh, man. So the passion for coffee came at a time. I grew up always drinking coffee. I would always sneak a little cup of coffee when my parents went to go to sleep, and I would go drink a little coffee Bustelo. But that wasn't truly when the passion for it began. It began when I started working for a mom and pop shop, and I wasn't able to work at the current time because I got into an accident. And because of that, I ended up bringing coffee home with me. And so from there, I started making coffee on my own, used my own little Flair Neo machine that my mother got me for Christmas. And I started learning more about the ins and outs of coffee and what it took to really make an exceptional cup. And it's not just making coffee, it's really paying attention to the variables, from the weight to the time to the type of water you're using, and all of that being put together to really create a wonderful cup of coffee. And then from there, I went from just tasting coffee to really enjoying it. And I went house to house, making coffee for other people. And in the process of going house to house, introducing people to quality coffee, we ended up having conversations. And a lot of those conversations ended up talking about Jesus and sharing the good news.
I love that. So, okay, so for people who like coffee, right? We're not aficionados in this in any sense. French press or just like a brewed coffee, drip coffee. What's better of the two?
It's gonna vary.
Question?
It's not a hard question, but it's gonna depend on the person. What type of brew method do they enjoy? Me personally, I probably will go with a drip coffee, specifically the pour over method. And I'll do a manual pour over to get my cup. And I thoroughly enjoy those because it's very therapeutic in the process of just enjoying the different aromas and tastes that it has to offer.
All right. So you said you do corporate events and brand activation events, all types of events that you do. What can customers expect when you come into their space and serve them coffee?
Well, first things first, you could expect bubbly people that are coming to really just enjoy serving through hospitality, the people that we get to make coffee for. In addition to that, you could expect quality beans that's picked specifically for that event. So like the event that we got to meet each other at, I literally chose Bean and Bean Coffee because they are a woman-owned company geared towards really closing the gap between women within the coffee industry, as well as also protecting the sloths. And so it's beautiful.
Oh, interesting. So not only, I love that you said that, because I wouldn't have thought that you would curate the coffee based on the event that you're doing.
Yeah.
So there's research involved in that.
There's a lot of research involved.
I love that.
And the reason for that is because my goal is to pair the right coffee for the right event with the right people. And I want to, introduce people. I want to push the limits. And I really want them to be able to taste the quality stuff and the specialty stuff that is made by wonderful people, produced by wonderful people, and coming from farms from wonderful people. And so,
I love that. So all regions is where you source your coffee. So it's good brew, good news, good brew.
Yeah.
And you mentioned spreading the good news of Jesus.
Yeah.
So how does that factor into when you have an event? Because when I met you, you mentioned that and you talked about the story, and I was very like that's dope. I love that. And it was I was receptive. So do you have any instances or challenges where you are doing an event and people don't want to hear it?
Believe it or not, I haven't.
Okay.
I'm sure that I'll probably run into some.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
But the way that we go about it is it's not invasive.
Right, I would agree.
It's if the conversation leads us there, the conversation leads us there. My first priority is, getting you the best cup of coffee. And that cup of coffee is usually the wall breaker. And it will lead us into having delightful conversations. Whichever way you're going to get it, you're going to get Jesus, whether it's vocally or especially through our hospitality.
Absolutely. I was going to say through your actions, because as I mentioned to you, in meeting you and drinking the coffee and having a conversation with you, you did radiate that positivity. And that's what Jesus is about, right?
I'm a firm believer that our actions is a continuation of our words. And Christ exemplifies that throughout the gospel. And so my goal is I may not have a verbal conversation with you, but you will get the love and the hands and feet of Jesus through our hospitality as we serve you.
So what obstacles have you faced? Were there any challenges? Because you're a business owner, right? And owning a business, developing a business, creating a business always comes with its challenges. So what challenges or obstacles have you faced in this process?
Man. A lot. We're about a year and a half in.
Okay.
And really the first probably major big one was finding the capital. Yeah. That's just, to be honest, I'm a singer-songwriter, I'm a worship leader, and I was a barista. They're not very lucrative monetarily.
Right, exactly.
But they are very lucrative as far as wealth and rich in heart. Okay. And so trying to find the capital was very hard. But sometimes you just had to, for me, I just had to write the plan, which I did, make it plain, pray about it, and just take the necessary steps to make it happen. My family definitely was a big help in the process of doing this. They are very supportive. My girlfriend was very supportive also. And eventually it just took just making it happen. Right. I started with taking out a loan to just get this going.
Up and running,
so,
right?
Yeah. I will say another challenge is transporting all of my gear. So right now, I don't have a big old car to fit everything in there. So I'm renting a U-Haul to really just transport all of my stuff to every event. Yeah. And so that's another area. And then there's a couple other things, but really for me, putting together the website was a hard thing. I didn't know how important a website was until doing that. And this is coming from someone that is already like in that creative world. Right. I have my own little platform for my music and as a singer-songwriter and as a worship leader, but creating a website specifically geared for the business is something else. Yeah. I didn't understand how important it was to really have that, more than just having a social platform.
Yeah, I would agree with you. That's a very important piece. Anybody you tell them this is my business, they want to know what the website is.
They want to know the website is. That's for sure. And so getting that up and running was like one of my main priorities.
Yeah.
In addition to that, I would say a couple other challenges were, if I could just put one more out there, really honestly just having the courage. Running a business is not something I wanted to do.
Really? Wow.
If it was up to me, I would love to just make coffee for people for free. That's just me.
Right.
I love to serve in that way. And so never would have thought I would be running a coffee business or any type of business at this matter. But this is where the Lord has called me to do. And the beauty about it is that I get to minister in a different way, in a practical way. Not that other ways aren't practical, but this one's pretty fun. And
and it's your passion.
And it's my passion. It's. I would say I'm blessed that I get to do what I love to do for the Lord through singing and songwriting and leading worship, and now also making coffee.
That's awesome.
And so the fact that I get to do what I love, the passions that the Lord has given me, and really use it to glorify Him, it's probably been the best part.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So where can people reach out to you and book you for their next event? You can let them know right there.
You can definitely head to goodnewsgoodbrew.com. And on there, you could read about us and request a quote. We do corporate parties, we do weddings and gatherings, we do brand activations and productions. So if you need us for your production shoots, we're there to supply and caffeinate your whole team. If you need us for your corporate parties, we're there to keep everyone awake and hip and pippy. And if you need us for your weddings, we're there to really just create those wonderful moments for you. And we love creating stories, and we love creating memorable moments, and work hard on mission. And so we love to serve in every way possible.
Thank you. Zavier, it's been a pleasure talking with you about Good News Good Brew. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. And feel free to follow us at Good News Good Brew on Instagram and regular social medias.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for tuning in to Conversations with Verdel Jones. I am so excited to introduce our next guest. It's Jamal Smart. He is the filmmaker behind the upcoming film Behind the Joy, which is about postpartum depression. So, Jamal, welcome to Conversations with Verdel Jones.
How you doing?
I'm good. It's so nice to have you here. Thank you. So, we're going to talk a little bit about your film, obviously, that's going to be coming out soon. But where did your passion for filmmaking actually come in?
It came from my older cousins. First, my cousin Tristan, he used to shoot a lot of like music videos for my older other cousins. And then a couple years ago, my cousin Chauncey, he created a film called Black Friday Subliminal, and he had me on set. And I always just shoot music videos, like corporate events and stuff like that. But by him doing it and him being so close to me, it made me feel that I can do it.
Right.
And so that's why.
I love that. Because the topic that you're addressing in your film is postpartum depression.
Yes.
What is that? I mean, we've heard that term before, but what actually is it?
So postpartum is something that women go through about 3 months after birth. And it's like a mental thing. It's a chemical imbalance that hormones are high and they really are fighting themselves because there's a lack of sleep, lack of just taking care of themselves. So they usually go through like psychosis or depression or OCD, anxiety. It's a whole plethora of things. Because it's not just postpartum depression. It can be postpartum anxiety, postpartum OCD.
Okay. Yeah, so it takes on different forms. And it shows up. I think sometimes when you see it or hear that term, you think about a mother not paying attention to their child or not making that connection with their child. But that's not the only part of it, is what you're saying.
No.
Right, there's other layers.
It's like It all falls under the umbrella, my impression, it all falls under the umbrella of mental health.
Yeah.
And when we don't take care of mental health, it shows up physically and it shows up in our reality, and it just becomes worse and worse.
So why did you want to make a film about postpartum depression?
So I had my daughter when I was 16 years old. So being the first out of my friends and family, a lot of my friends and family came to me and asked me certain questions, and they don't know how to feel and stuff like that. So hearing these stories that I never heard before, it resonated with me, because I'm a very good listener, I like to say, but keep listening and not doing no action behind it, not spreading awareness, it made me feel bad. So that really propelled me to do this film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So taking that information in and saying there's something that I need to do and take action is really what sparked it. Typically you hear about postpartum depression in women, right? How does it show up, or does it show up in men?
Men do get postpartum depression. Statistics says 1 out of 10 men get postpartum anxiety or OCD. Like examples is OCD is like, I have to be clean and stuff like that, or anxiety, not sleeping through the night, checking if the baby's breathing and stuff like that. That shows different levels of postpartum.
And is it a certain level of that? Because I think everybody goes in and says, are they okay? Or, but is it a heightened level? And even with women with postpartum depression, it's more visible, I guess you could say.
It's very visible within women, but especially in our community, but we hide our mental anguish. We try to portray strong, and we don't seek help, or we feel weak if we try to seek help.
Absolutely. So making a film, I'm sure it comes with certain challenges.
Yeah.
What were some challenges that you faced in making this film?
So the first day of shooting, it was a lot.
How long did it take you to film?
I started May 12th and ended August 10th.
Oh, okay. So May,
like
June,
2-3 months.
2-3, okay.
Yeah. The first day of shooting, I rented out a space called Underworld. It's a production house in Patchogue, and my lead actor had to come from Jersey. Then the other lead actor had to come from Manhattan, and I rented out an Airbnb. So throughout that weekend, they don't have to travel back and forth. But unfortunately, my lead actor Bobby, his grandma passed away the same day, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And he still showed up.
Oh, wow.
He came, he had to drive to Philadelphia to go, say goodbye to Grant, and he still came all the way out Long Island, and I respect him to that day. That was one of the biggest challenges, but he showed up, he killed it, and I really respect him for that.
Wow. So what do you hope people come away with when they see your film?
I want people to hear the stories that are hard for parents to share, to spread awareness. And it's really, if I can just help one family or just help bring up our community knowledge and just get us out of that, don't tell them something's mentally wrong with you or they're going to take your kid, I feel like I did my job.
So we're going to show a quick trailer of the film Behind the Joy with filmmaker Jamal Smart.
I feel like I'm going crazy.
Bringing a child into this world is tough on everyone, physically and mentally.
What's going on with you? Ever since you came back from the hospital, you ain't been the same. Naomi, you left my daughter on a coffee table in the middle of the living room.
I'm starting to believe postpartum depression is real, bro.
Nah, bro, that stuff is not real. The nurse is trying to say something like that. My mom never went through anything like that.
John, I need you to hear Naomi, because there's going to come a time that you will not be able to hear the Naomi that you know and love anymore. You
You wanted to what?
Nothing.
So, where can people see your film?
So I'm having the world premiere at Belmore Theater, March 14th, 2025.
And how can people find out about that? And how can people get in contact with you for more information? You can look at this camera right here.
So you can go to the Instagram Behind the Joy Film, or you can search up on Eventbrite Behind the Joy, or you can just Google Behind the Joy Film. I strategically picked that name so it's easy to Google, and I should show up first, hopefully.
You have the SEO or whatever,
Yes.
right? So Jamal, I just want to thank you so much for being here, talking about your film Behind the Joy. I think it's so needed, and you mentioned also in our community, and you know. Just to, I know we did like a close, but just to say why that is so important in our community especially.
It's the only way that we can just move up in our community, by gaining more knowledge and helping us out mentally, because a lot of people are lost, a lot of people are misunderstood, and I feel like films like this, films that I make, films that I'm going to make, is going to help raise the bar, essentially.
So the film will put a highlight or put focus on postpartum depression, but also teach people at the same time.
It teaches people what not to do.
Okay. I want to thank Jamal so much for being here.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to Conversations with Verdel Jones, empowering your passion with purpose. I hope today's conversations left you inspired, informed, and ready to take action toward your goals. If today's episode sparked something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Make sure you share it with others and pass it on to keep this cycle of learning going. Don't forget to subscribe, to comment, and follow us on social media so you will never miss an episode. And remember, in the words of Maya Angelou, when you learn, teach, and when you get, give. Until next time, stay inspired, stay purposeful, and keep turning your passion into reality. We'll see you next time.